Hi everyone, it's Linda McKenna from Golden Rule Senior Placement Services coming to you today with Tuesday Talks. Today is October 1st and we're celebrating a new month, but we're also celebrating today is a special day. It's called International Day of Older Persons. So I thought we should have this topic and discuss it in a little bit of great length. Having the topic being geared around to older persons, I wanted to demonstrate the purpose of the holiday is to increase awareness of the impact of having an aging population. And we want to make sure that people in society to be able to grow old and with dignity. So, yes, we're fortunate to have a lot of older people around us. That's where we actually get our memories and our history from. And we have a lot of senior loved ones, neighbors, friends, extended family that surround us. And we're very lucky that we do have that. And they live to a older age, but hopefully having a quality of life. There are wonderful things about our elders and older persons, and it's they have wisdom, they have experience, and they have storytelling. So with that, we can gain a lot of what happened in the past. So there's a lot of things that I recommend with the storytelling is to videotape it or record it, and something that is precious that you could have forever. They can inspire us to continue striving and warn us of the dangers we're unaware of. We should look to them for guidance and never ever to ignore them. Unfortunately, it happens too often to some of our seniors that they're forgotten and they are ignored, and older people are pushed away of not having any more importance. So we would like to change that culture, all of us together. That's one of the main reasons why the International Day of Older Persons on October 1st is a terrific holiday. Here are some frequently asked questions about Older Persons Day. Do older people need to save for retirement? Very important subject matter. And we always, think about it really times of tax season, but more importantly, when it's imminent that we need to spend money is, oh my goodness, what do we do now? Or in times of disaster, as we're experiencing with the most recent storm, what has happened if we don't have access to money and oil? So do we, as folks, younger folks, save for retirement, but even for the older ones as well too, to plan ahead. It is generally recommended that you start saving for retirement so that by the time you reach an older age, you have plenty of resources for when you stop working. And the best places to do that with is going to see a certified financial planner and coming down with a plan, a long-term plan as to what your goals and where you see yourself in your age that you could afford to carry on. Why do we celebrate International Day of Older Persons? It is the purpose of the holiday, as I mentioned, to have to see the impact it has on our aging population and how we can allow them to grow old and with dignity. 3 reasons to embrace aging. The world is getting much older. Almost 900 million people in the world are older than 60. By 2050, 2 billion people, or 22% of the planet's population, will be at that age. In fact, by 2050, for the first time in human history, there will be more people over 60 than there are children in the world. Amazing. That's the baby boomers, as we all know. 2, longevity is becoming a commonplace. According to the UN, the life expectancy worldwide rose from 46 to 60 years between 1950 and 2010. Don't forget, years ago, there was a lot of diseases that were not recognized and people were actually passing earlier and not knowing what they were actually dealing with. So having healthy individuals makes all the difference in the world. It is expected to rise to 81 by the end of the century. Amazing. By the end of the century, the average age will be 81 for life expectancy. 3, happiness increases with old age. According to recent study, most people are happiest in youth and then once they made their 70s and 80s. Most people reported that they were the least happy in middle age. Isn't that, it's actually dealing with another chapter in their lives. When you're middle age, you're looking away from rearing your children, early marriages, and all, and is preparing for the future, for the next chapter. So how content when somebody's young, just starting out in their 20s, of course, that's their happiest times. But now when they age, later in their 70s, they are more relaxed, that everything that they planned for came to fruition and they are enjoying their quality of life. Why International Day for Older Persons is important. 1, older people deserve our respect and attention. In addition to the wonderful things older people bring to our lives, a day set aside to honor them reminds us to take the time to be kind and humble in the presence of a long life well lived. I just not this day. I agree with that to a certain degree. I believe that our older folks should be persons, seniors, should be getting our respect and our attention all the time. Should not be just this day to celebrate their presence here amongst us. 2, we want to teach young people. The holiday is a way to educate younger people on many of the issues faced by the elderly, such as abuse, reminiscence, and the destruction and deterioration of mental and physical processes. I agree with this. I think younger people of today and the newer generation don't understand what elders go through. They've seen our world change so dramatically. And the nuclear family has now kind of dispersed, and they move away. Years ago they all lived in the same town or on the same property, and now it's dispersed. So there's a sense of a breaking up of a family unit, and young people should learn what that philosophy was to them and how they could better understand it and recreate it with their own family as well. And their deterioration, meaning that they are getting older, their bones are hurting them, their mental capability might be diminishing. So young people should have a sense of compassion with our elders, not to get impatient with them when they're forgetting things, or they're not moving as fast, or they're not doing things of what they used to do. So young people mixing with older people, there's a better appreciation for aging. 3, we don't know everything. If we're lucky, age confers upon a measure of self-awareness and wisdom. Focusing on the challenges faced by the elderly reminds us there is still much to learn about ourselves and the world. And I'm going to relate this actual part here back to my dad. My dad turned 101 in May, and his philosophy always, very educated man, had his master's very young on. He was a military man as well too, in high ranking. And what he did every day was read a book, a new book. If you gave him a book, he read it already, he would give it back to you and said, I read that already. He also felt fiction was fiction. Reading history, that you were part of it, reconfirms of what you went through, but more importantly, that you could have conversations with your family and friends over it. But learning, he always said, your brain is a sponge. The more you bring in and absorb, is more that you can absorb by wringing out that brain, by learning, bringing it out, and learning some more so you could absorb some more. So I use my dad as a testament to that we don't know everything. We're in a learning process no matter what our age is. We're constantly learning. I fail in some things that my children really are so much better at. Sometimes it's technology that I have problems and I call my children out and say, hey, can you help me? So there's a learning process for all of us, but if we keep that in our mind, that we're constantly learning, what does it do to our brains? It enriches them, but it's also a way of thriving. So what learning from our elders is not to repeat mistakes, but also to the fact that we're learning a lot from them as well, too, of what they went through. It was mentioned in a couple of lines back about them needing our respect and attention. A lot of our senior population is exploited and taken advantage of, and there's no better time to have that conversation with your elders, your senior loved ones, of getting them mixed up maybe in an email, or they're getting a phone call by the IRS, is to get involved. We just had a storm here locally, and door to door, here is a roofer going door to door saying, oh, one of your tiles came off on your roof, would you like a new roof? So our elderly neighbors were also approached by them, and we made sure that they were safe and they didn't get involved. So what I'm saying is that's a population that unfortunately are very trusting. So we need to be advocates for them, and also to make sure that they are not abused mentally, physically, but also exploited. How to observe International Day of Older Persons. Chat with an older person. If we take time to get to know an older person, even one right in our own family, we may see them in a new light and learn something about ourselves in the process. What a great thing, even in our own family, is talking to an elder in history, family history, genealogy, and learning how they maybe came to America and how hard that travel was. You have a better appreciation, you being an American citizen and having your grandparents come here from their country, and how they actually thrived and worked really hard to make us have a happy home in the U.S. This is an International Day of Older Persons, so this goes worldwide for the respect and having conversations. To volunteer your time. There's a lot that can be done to make it easier for older persons. Find out about organizations in your area that work with the elderly and see what you can do to help. Can't agree with that more than anything else. We tend to volunteer, especially our seniors in high school, because they have to, because of scholarships, is to volunteer. Why are we not doing volunteerism all throughout our lives? And what a great purpose is to do with what our elders. It might be in a hospital setting. It might be visiting them in the nursing homes, visiting them in assisted living communities, visiting them at home and seeing if they need any assistance, maybe, going to the store for them, getting milk or anything because they're not able to get out. But organizing your efforts through an organization or doing it on your own. And volunteering is wonderful, and it is priceless, and it's much more rewarding for you. Become an advocate. I call myself a senior care advocate, being in healthcare for so long and working with seniors. I've done home health and hospice, and for the last 7 years, soon to be 7 years, I've owned Golden Rule. And I do call myself a senior care advocate because I want our senior clients to get the best quality care and the best outcomes for their future, and have a better quality of life, and give the families a peace of mind that their loved ones are safe. But it says here, the United Nations enhanced attention in the particular needs and challenges faced by many older people and clearly required. It is important to recognize, as the UN also, the essential contribution the majority of older men and women can continue to make in the functioning of society. Please, respect is dignified with a senior, and just even passing a military gentleman or lady that might be adorned with a hat or some kind of tag on them, thank you for your service. It means so much to them to acknowledge them. So our older people should not be shunned away. They're not throwaways. They should be embraced. And I could say, from my perspective, being a senior care advocate and a placement specialist, I see our older persons really having a quality of life in senior living. They're having a ball. They have something to look forward to each day with activities, field events, transportation, and also having an overview of care over them, so they are safe, and making sure that they're eating properly as well. So with all due respect, please reach out to an older person, not only today on Older Persons Day, but throughout the rest of the year. 365 days a year, and the rest of 364 days a year. Thank you. As always, I lead you to my website. It is www.goldenruleseniorplacement.com. There you will see my bio, you will see testimonials, you will see my demographics, how to get in touch with me. Also, plenty of resources, plenty of options, and a whole host of library of all these video talks of Tuesday Talks. As always, I always say what the next topic is going to be, so you could tune in the following week. October 8th, since October is Family History Month, we're going to talk about genealogy and learning history from our ancestors and how we could better understand the challenges they faced, just as a segue to today's International Day of Older Persons. Thank you so much. Have a blessed week. Happy October and happy International Older Persons Day. Bye-bye now.